Here we go!
Get that last no-scope kill and hit pause. It's time for the video game podcast where the Konami code is alive and well. The console wars don't exist. Rings are just as valuable as coins. Pots are not safe from swords. Giant robots kick ass. And fireballs are a perfectly acceptable weapon in a fist fight. That's right. It's time for the Super Gamer Bros Podcast Ultra Hyper Alpha Super EX Double Impact Plus A Live. Settle in and let's get to gaming.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Super Gamer Bros. I am one of your hosts, Slayton, and I'm joined, as usual, by my fun co-hosts. Everybody.
What's up, everyone? This is Nick, your Henzar.
This is Pocky D.
Boy, we're really
previously Cynic for anybody who's confused. We'll just get that out of the way.
Yeah, we're still going to call him. You know what? We should just call you Henzar.
Well, call me whatever the hell you want to call me. We'll
But
do
not
that.
Hereby named Henzar.
But we won't call you late for dinner.
Yeah, I decided that we need to start talking about our gamer tags so you can see if you ever want to join us online. And I met him as Cynic, and that's why I always call him Cynic. Like the few times I refer to him as Nick, I get in problems over here.
Who the hell?
I called you, remember? So when I was the only other guy I ever been with, his name was Nick. That was a long time ago. And so we were talking a bunch, remember? And I called and said, I got in trouble because I was saying Nick, and they all freaked out of my house. So,
oh, that's funny. That's
yeah.
okay.
I called you and you said you're in trouble too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think we were.
We were both in the doghouse that weekend. So.
Yeah, every so often that happens. We'll both just be in trouble simultaneously, and that happens.
Yeah. So we decided to do this promoter gamer tags a little bit more because we do have a lot of fun. So welcome to the show. We just like to talk about video games. There's not a lot to talk about today, but we always start with what we are doing this week, what we've been playing. And so I'll kick off because I'm a little disappointed. I've been doing Animal Crossing, of course, but I got back into Destiny because it's Moments of Triumph. They did a bunch of things this week. And so I joined this really big clan, and I've never done any of the raids, so I'm actually on their Discord, and I'm trying to be active. And I put up that I wanted to do a raid this weekend. I said, I haven't done it before. I've done any of the raids. Let's just do it because let's all just go. We could do it on a weekend. And I'm watching everybody else's clan raid post get full, and mine's just sitting there doing nothing.
Oh.
Because I said I've never done it before. So everyone's avoiding me like the plague. I'm like, I thought the point of doing this was to find people who can do this with you and have fun and play together.
No.
Use the word fun, sir. You're in a clan in Destiny. It is about min-maxing the fuck out of yourself, sir.
Well, this is a very serious clan. Like, they have job postings. You've got to be as active as you can be. There's certain milestones you have to reach each year. Like, they're dead serious. Like, just getting into it, there was, like, questionnaires on Discord. You had to figure out all the Discord settings you needed to go through. And so it's fun.
You were
A lot of people there, but I feel dumb because I can't play with any of them.
right because you're not. You should have be. What, how many years is this game now?
6, I think.
So you should have. You should know the back. Like you should close your eyes and be able to see every raid ever. Like that's
In Destiny 1, yes. I've done none of them Destiny 2, and at the end of the season, which is in September, they're all going away. So this is my only time to do it. So I think I'm going to try to find a Sherpa who will put together a group that I can go join, and I just want to do them just so I can say I've done them. But I'm just like, what happened to just having fun, you know?
Well, as soon as you join a clan, fun it goes out the door, my friend.
I don't understand that. I thought it was about finding people that you want to play with and have fun. Like, that's what I always thought clans were supposed to be.
No, you got to find friends for that.
Well, I do have friends, but all my family plays it. So today I was playing with my cousin and her fiance. We were just having fun. It was so funny because they're like, "Oh, we're the best Gambit duo ever. We never lose." We lost both Gambit matches. Because I like Gambit. It's the only PvP I really like in that game. And yeah, we lost both matches, but I got my gun, my exotic gun that just is a beast. And they're still working on it. So I was like, yeah. So this week has been definitely interesting, realizing that we should just form a clan of casual, fun players, you know?
That's the whole thing when it comes to the clans. Like, you just gotta if you want to find a fun clan, you just gotta form your own. You just gotta start from scratch.
Yeah, so there's like 6 subsections of this clan depending on where you live. I'm in Delta. They have a room for every activity: year 1 raids, year 2 raids. Oh, look, there's a Sherpa group. That's where I'll find somebody. Like, it is literally a 50 subsection long thing. There's rules, our links. They're looking for job. They're hiring some people positions. I don't know. Staff
So
positions
That's ridiculous.
So right there was your warning sign. This is not a fun guild. If your guild has a help wanted section that is not help me get this done, but rather we need help to give people things to do things. If you have 50 subsections divided up so people can find people in certain regions and areas, you're not a fun guild. You're a job guild. You're wanting Destiny to be your job, and you wanted to join a corporation, sub-corporation, to be a part of that.
I just am a little disappointed. I mean, I'm up here looking right now. All of these raids are full except for mine. It's sitting there empty.
Yeah. Like I said, if you would have said, "Hey, I haven't done this in 4 months and like to go back to it again," people would be signing up. But the fact that you said, "I've never done this before," they don't have the time to teach you.
It's a shame, is what it is. You seem very, very, very sad about this clan. I definitely would say form your own. Just get that out of the way.
Yeah, but see, I'd rather join an established one just because I don't want to run anything. I don't have time to run anything, and I like the activity. I love that there's always people on. Like when I get on, I've got 3 pages of clan people on.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all doing like PvP or Crucible and shit like that. I'm like, I'll just run around with my cousin and stuff and have fun.
Then you joined the wrong clan, my friend.
Yeah,
We'll find out. I'm gonna post in the Sherpa group and tell them, look, I want to do a clan. I want to do a couple raids a weekend before they go away. I need help because that's what Sherpas do, and they have a whole Sherpa section.
Well,
So I'll update that next week. We'll see how that goes.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
But yeah, I have the official Destiny 2 Discord, Plants vs. Zombies Restream, Nintendo Switch heads, and what is that one? Oh, my shadow computer. Yeah.
Since Plants vs. Zombie, the new Plants vs. Zombies was only like $15 or something, I did buy that a few weeks ago. So that's
you didn't tell me we could have been playing that too.
Well, there you go. I mean, you were too afraid to play, Puzzle Fighter with me.
We were committed to Streets of Rage 4. We will play Puzzle Fighter this weekend. I promise you.
To be fair, we were committed to Halo, and I bungled that. So it took me 2 days, but it's finally downloaded and ready to go. So,
all right. So, what have you been doing this weekend, Zar?
So I've actually jumped into a few new things. I downloaded a little while back Kingdom Come Deliverance. When that game first came out, it looked really good. The reviewers kind of punched it around a little bit, but a lot of people were saying it was actually pretty good once you got past some of the harder mechanics in it. I personally, it's on the Games Pass, by the way. That's why I downloaded it and started playing it pretty recently, maybe a few days ago. And for those who don't know what Kingdom Come Deliverance is, it's basically an open world medieval game. Think Skyrim, but without dragons and without the actual elves and all that. Like throw all the magic out, and it's just you're in an accurate medieval setting. The combat and the movement and everything is also it's more deliberate. It's more slow. You're gonna have to kind of watch yourself. If things kill you in real life, they'll kill you in this game. And also, like, serial saving is also not a thing. You really have to find a bed or find special ways to save or have items to save, like special drinks. Save your schnapps is one of the things you drink in order to actual save. It reminds me of kind of like ink ribbons from Resident Evil, but it's definitely a very in-depth game. I played it for, I think, at least 5 to 8 hours before the it's one of those games where finally the plot happens and then the the title of the game pops up, and I was like, dude, I've been playing this for like 5 hours. I was like, how am I just now seeing the title screen? So it's one of those games you have to have a lot of patience with. But in addition to playing that, I've also been playing Mario Odyssey, which I don't know why. I guess it's just been fun to relax and play something that's not as labor intensive as Kingdom Come. Our Odyssey's definitely been a lot of fun. For those who haven't played it, it's old school Nintendo 64, style Mario. If you haven't played a Mario game since then, it's great fun. It doesn't. I don't really want to go on about Mario Odyssey because you can look it up and see how much fun it is for yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory. Other than that, aside from the Dragon Ball mobile game that I play every day, those have been the big two. I'd say Kingdom Come and Mario Odyssey have garnered most of my attention.
And then you, Pocky.
I've been playing as streaming more Persona 4.
I saw that.
I got Hyperscape earlier in the week and played a little of that. I was part of the beta run for that. We'll talk about that game later.
Very cool.
And other than that, more Dragon Warrior. Trying to find pages. There's the tomes of history that these little alien creatures watch over, and they're flashbacks to other previous Dragon Warrior games, but like events before like the game starts or certain people get met, and you have to like stop these demons from going back and stopping like. So if you know the lore of Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, most of you are descendants of Erdrick, the original first hero, and in one of the pages of history, you have to get his parents to actually marry. They were going to marry, but a demon tricked the entire village to believe he was evil. So you have to stop that trick from happening. And the cool thing about it is they put it in 16-bit graphics. So you're able to like, switch to nice high graphics, and then when you go back in time, it's all 16-bit. Like
That's
with
cool.
the overview and everything, and it's the old style Final Fantasy Dragon Warrior menu screens, and it kind of feels good. And you can actually play the entire game that way if you want it. If you want a more traditional, old school RPG look to it, you can do that.
Nice.
That's very cool. Pocky, I meant to tell you, by the way, I did fire up Phantasy Star 2 and went ahead and I was like, you know what, in case anybody wants to jump on this, let me just go through the tutorial. And the game seems fun. I will just say this. It was one of the most laggy experiences I've ever had in my life. And is that consistent with your experience?
So on the PC, not really, except for certain areas. I do notice that my frame rate does this number.
Oh, yeah. It just
let me guess, it's the hub. It's the hub.
Well, the hub seemed okay. It was like the first level that you go to where there's like the forest and you have to, kill a few things in order to it's like your first mission in the forest, and so whenever there were more than a couple of enemies on screen, the frame rate would just would go to like, I don't know, a frame a second.
See, that's what I was afraid of. Like in the beta it was okay, but it's a free to play game. It's massively dense. There's a lot of things going on. I was like, I'll probably plug it in because I have my Xbox hardwired.
Yeah.
And
so do
see
I.
if I have the same problems.
I'm down to do it with you for sure. It was just that happened to be my experience. So we'll see what happens later.
So a friend of mine was explaining to me this. Apparently, this is an America only problem.
Is it?
It's some of the Europeans, because Sega runs all of PSO for Asia and parts of Europe. Microsoft runs it for America and parts of Europe. Guess which ones have the worst experience?
I can only imagine.
Yes, and because basically Microsoft has to send it through their system. So it goes through Sega, and then it goes through Microsoft, and then it goes through them. Then it goes to you. So it daisy chains. It becomes like telephone.
Okay.
because of that, you get these really bad lag spikes. But if you watch Japanese game players and you talk about people who go through the Japanese servers or the Asian servers, they're fine.
It's straight to the server and that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to our question of the week. Did you guys see what it was? Which video game weapon would you always carry around with you?
Yes, I did see that.
I like kids are like, wait, what? There's so many.
Yeah. That's
all right. Well, we're gonna start with Pocky.
Go for it, Pocky. Give the right answer.
The portal gun.
You would get in so many problems with that. You'd end up in an infinite loop of just never-ending falling. You could not stop yourself.
There's like the thing is, it doesn't matter. Like I could have a sword and a portal gun. I'd shoot the wall, then shoot behind you, and then stab you.
Yeah.
The portal gun is just a multi-tool. You can do so much with it.
Yeah, I'll give that one to you. It's pretty great answer. Because as far as weapons go, I mean that's a really tough one. Really tough one.
No, it's not. There's only one weapon. The BFG.
No
one would touch you. No one would touch you because you would demolish a city.
Yeah, neither would you because you'd be radioactive at that point.
I don't care. No one is coming near me or starting any shit with me because hey, you will be gone in an instant.
I would say, man, that's a really tough one. I'm trying to think of anything that can be used, any weapon that can be used as a teleporter. And Pocky, you kind of nailed it with the portal gun there. So, yeah, man, anything that could be real world related and useful. I'd say, I'm going to go with the Mega Buster.
That's adaptable, yes.
Because and it is exactly for that reason. For folks who don't know what the Mega Buster is, that's Mega Man's main weapon. And as he goes through the game and defeats more and more enemies, the Mega Buster can do all sorts of weird shit. So I'm just going to say a fully upgraded Mega Buster throughout all the Mega Man games. I'm sure I'll find a use for it in the real world.
Now, my question is, are we talking about Mega Man or Mega Man X's? Because X's was more powerful and more diverse.
Yeah, we'll say X, just because he did have didn't he have a freeze? He had a freeze gun. He had the original Mega Man had Blade Man. He had the blades that the Mega Buster would produce. X had all sorts of. Plus, X could do Hadoukens. So, I mean,
and Shoryukens.
And Shoryukens, yes. So the Mega Buster could even do Street Fighter stuff, and who doesn't want to do Street Fighter stuff? So I'd say, yeah, the Mega Buster.
Because then also you get also with the X stuff, you get all the upgraded armor and Buster parts where you're like, now my Buster can shoot like a god without going into getting other animals.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd say that. Definitely. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Sorry, I'm having 5 conversations at once tonight. It's a very busy night for me. Okay, so let's get into our news. And I want to talk about this one first because Pocky brought up a good point, right? So a bunch of headlines have hit that Hyperscape is just dropping from first to like 95th on all these streaming lists.
Yep.
And I find it kind of weird because Pocky, what is the state of this game exactly?
Okay, so my thing is, the reason I think he got hyped was they sent it off to a bunch of new streamers from Mixer going over to Twitch and whatnot because of the Mixer incident. And from that, Ubisoft was giving away the game for free to certain streamers. And then if you were watching their stream and you had a Ubisoft account, they would give you the game for free. So, and they would just ask you to stream it. And so you had everyone and their mom playing this game for a short bit of time because of that. Including myself. I played it. And I don't like Battle Royale games. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I do not like them. Because they bring out the worst in some people, and possibly myself. But also, if I want to sit for 5 minutes, wait to play, and then die in 2 minutes, I'll go play Destiny. At least I'll have a better respawn rate. But So this game takes a lot of my complaints and says, "Oh, okay," and then takes them for real. The game, if you die and you're in a party of three, so it's three randos or two other randos, or a group you've made. You can form a group, and then you basically sit in a lobby, and it's a virtual reality run by a mega corporation. So instead of like areas getting hit with fog, they get defragged. They literally stop existing in the server. There are hacks which give you powers. So basically, they like shields or minor invulnerability, or placing a wall, or turning
So
into
far, it sounds like a standard battle royale game.
right. But the big thing is like with this, and unlike some battle royale games where you die and you immediately just go play the next match. Your party of three, if you die and someone else dies, not your party member, but like another person dies, their spot and your spot becomes a spawn point for other people. If you can get there and your team member can get there, and then you can spawn somebody else. You can spawn back in.
Okay.
And it gets a little bit more thing with that and more insane. Individual weapons can upgrade. There's not a lot, not new, but the games are really fast. Like I was even like in the top 10 teams in one game, and the game only lasted 6 minutes.
Well, I wonder if people don't know are reading this headline going, "Oh, well, this game's just going to suck." I don't think they should make this a headline at all. I wonder if there's these group of people have an agenda to try to stop it.
I think what it is it's like any like I think with anything it's like there's so many of these games. Like how many like we can name each of us can name 5 different battle royale games and never touch on the same one. And I think because of that, you don't. People are just looking for ones to fail, and I think one that introduces for new players. Oh, there is one other thing. You can also there is bonus round or.
I like how he looks disgusted talking about that. He's got this look on his face like, "Oh, one other thing."
I like this one. So it's attached to your Twitch account, and your viewers can actually vote to change certain events in the game, such as, example, infinite ammo, or zero gravity mode, or high jump mode, or slow mo mode. So everyone in the map just slows down.
Well, it sounds fun. Huh?
Yeah, it's fun. There's also target mode, which is all of a sudden everyone and their mom knows where this one person is in the map.
Oh, that's evil.
There's also a stealth mod, so you can stealth. There's also a stealth hack. The hacks are special powers. You get stealth hack. So if you're stealth and that thing goes off, no, your stealth power is useless.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it survives after this, or if it makes a splash, or there's anything you can take on Fortnite. But I don't know what makes Fortnite so different. But I don't care. It takes all the small children away from the big games.
I think this will be a game for people like myself and maybe like you guys who wants a kind of a quicker, more entertaining game with 3 players. So I think we're if you have a really strong member, so 2 medium members, you can bounce off each other really well and survive longer. I think that
definitely makes a difference when you know the people you're playing with. That's why when I get in Destiny with Becky and Shailik, we just rock it. We all know each other's rhythms. We all know how each other plays. Anytime you play against people you know, it's always a lot better. So
I
guess we'll see.
I like to play with you guys on this one just to see how it goes because
I'll try it out at least once.
Because I also they have a lot of really good weapons that are just fun and colorful. That's the other thing about this game. It's actually colorful, not overly colorful. Like I'd say, like a step above Team Fortress 2. Like it's nice and colorful, and the weapons are actually fun to use.
Well, that's always a plus.
Yeah. Very
so
cool.
Another thing I would ask you guys was, how bizarre was it that you found out when Ninja went to YouTube Gaming of all places?
I was kind of genuinely surprised, but I
didn't even know that was still around.
It is still around. I still use it. I think what it is he's going with the beast he knows. He can go to Google and get money. I don't.
He could have gone back to Twitch and got money.
I think. Well, with YouTube, he can also control how long. The thing about Twitch is though, you only get your videos for like 90 days to a year, and if you're a higher member, you get them for like 2 years. But so if he's wanting to make an archive of himself, he can't go with Twitch.
You can download your videos off Twitch, can't you?
You can't restream them, but I think yeah, I guess you can. But
Then you download them and you put them on YouTube.
yeah,
Problem
I don't,
solved.
I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to go for more of a market. I mean, the problem with Twitch is
I just thought this was a bizarre thing to do. But Google's going, yes, YouTube gaming will be a thing now.
Yeah, I'll let you. I'll let you two take over this one because I don't watch Ninja. Sorry,
I don't watch him either. But he made the
either.
headline saying he decided to go to YouTube gaming, and I was like, huh, that's still a thing.
Yeah, I will say this. The only reason I'm paying attention is because wherever he goes, a lot of people are going to follow him. Not everybody, but he went to YouTube gaming. So that means a lot of people that follow him, particularly people that are part of his crew, will be on there too. And I'm wondering if it's more along the lines of, because he did buy into Mixer from Twitch, I wonder if it was like you quit your job and then you went to work for another company and that company went out of business.
He really made the money.
Yeah, no, he still made money, but it's a question of would you go back? And apparently,
I don't know if I think if it wasn't a toxic environment over there that's going on with the safety council and everything else, he might have actually gone back.
I think so too. So,
but how Twitch must be going? He'd rather go to YouTube gaming than back here. Man, we definitely fucked up.
They don't really care. They got a huge influx of the Mixer people, so all they look at it is, we didn't get one, but we got 300.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I throw that out there. So there's been a lot of talk lately about how next gen games should going to be costing people more and how that should be okay. But Xbox came out and said we're not letting developers charge more for next gen games because they have that program where it's going to be optimized whatever system you're playing on. So like they were already talking Destiny that the next year's will be optimized for next gen graphics, but it will scale down for lower systems. And I thought that was funny because everyone's all, oh, we're going to charge more money for games. Like, yeah, no, it's the same amount for games. You really can't price gate next gen stuff with us. And people are actually kind of going okay with that.
Except EA. EA hates it.
Well, of course EA is going to hate it. I mean, they were the loot box kings for the longest time.
They're also the ones that said that they were going to charge $70 for NBA 2K21 or 22 or whatever the next one comes out. Bullshit. Yeah.
So I find that kind of funny. Like I like the Xbox's philosophy that you buy it once, it works whatever resolution you're playing at. And I wonder how long it'll last, because how long do you think this current system will last after the next gen system comes out? Because I think it took forever for the 360 to die.
They usually last a good 3 to 4 years.
Nearly a decade.
It can last a while.
Yeah, I mean, the PS4 has been around, and the Xbox One has been around for over 6 years. Because Courtney and I have been married for 6 years, and they were out before we got married. We almost put them on our wedding list, actually. So and the only reason we didn't was because we wanted, to kind of get stuff that was kind of relevant to our,
your house, your future,
the real expensive stuff.
Yeah.
Video game system can be just as much as a blender, sir.
Well, that's true. But if you're gonna have you're gonna have more than 2 to 3 pieces of furniture in your house, That's how many systems I count.
Well, how high do you think they could possibly charge for games where people would still want to pay for it? Because I remember paying $40 for a Master System game.
I mean, I would say all you have to it depends, because if we're talking about base games, I mean, all you really have to do is throw Ultimate and throw a bobblehead in there, and you can charge people $200. So
yeah, we're looking at you, Neversoft.
Yeah, people will buy now on a grand scale, because of course, like the big time nerds for certain games will do that. I'm surprised I didn't do that for Mortal Kombat, of course, but with the scorpion mask and everything, that looked extremely cool. but didn't shell out $200 for it. And I would say, I mean, right now it's pretty much stuck at 60, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty for a base vanilla game, AAA.
That's not really maybe functional. We'll still have microtransactions and all the other stuff and season passes.
So that's the catch. They're going to charge DLC and cosmetic transactions, and they're going to charge even more just for the base game.
Yep.
Do you think that would limit the microtransactions, or do you think that's just it's just going to be they're just going to make more money on the upfront? Pocky's like, nope, more money on the upfront.
Yeah. I mean, WB is really proving. I mean,
Rockstar, WB.
Yeah, they're all they all do it, and I mean it's not like they're the only ones who do it. It's been going on for DLC has been going on for a long time, and I wouldn't say there's anything inherently wrong with it as long as you are actually producing downloadable content and it's not just being unlocked. You're not just paying extra money to unlock stuff on a something that's already there, or that they're not just taking they're going, okay, well, the DLC is ready. Let's throw in this flash drive that's been ready into the server because this has been ready to go for, I don't know, the past year since the game was released. Here it is. It's ready to go. We've been developing this, folks. Har har. As long as you're spending the time on actually developing stuff, which I think many developers genuinely are still working on a game once it's released. I mean, in this day and age, they just kind of have to be.
So what I was going to say was it's I mean, the industry runs on right now is that, like, Rockstar has made like $158 billion off microtransactions off Grand Theft Auto. That's not including what's come off of Red Dead Redemption 2. No, why would they ever stop? I mean, all they have to do is say it's just cosmetic or it's just minor items. Hey, it's okay. And then, they'll charge you $60 for a game, and then they'll charge you up to $1,000 for skins and characters. We're looking at you, dead or alive.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, just as an example, because of course Mortal Kombat will always be the game that I will buy, and Aftermath is the first bit of DLC and actual Mortal Kombat content that I have not purchased due to being outpriced. $40 was a bit much for me for 3 characters and a few additions to the chapters to the story. Plus the fact that I had already shelled out, I don't know, $30 for the other characters that had come out. So, I mean, in total, I've already spent $90 on this game, and then they're going to charge you 40 more. So, what is a fair price for a game and all its content that is going to be coming down the pipe? Maybe $100. If they had told me, hey, we're coming out with 6 characters. Later on, we're going to have some story content and 3 more. You're going to spend $100. I'm like, you know what? I will spend $100. If I'm going to get that much content, I'd spend that on day one. I'd be okay with that because that's a lot of content. 9 characters plus some story for 40 extra bucks. I'd be okay with that. It's spending $40 on a little bit of story and 3 characters that I'm pissed off about.
Wow, I cannot even tell you how much money I spent in Destiny.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like, how many expansion packs have there been for just Destiny 2 alone?
I always buy the yearly one, so it's $40 a year. I bought a crap ton of silver for cosmetic packs. Not to mention all the Funko Pops, the Christmas ornaments, the vinyl ghosts, the cookbook, the everything.
Well,
y'all. I will show it to you when it gets here.
You're the Destiny fanboy, though, man. They're your target. You get the cookbook. Holy God!
So, I can't wait to show it to you guys.
So my thing is about this is if you read the press release on why they have to charge $70 for the game, why it went from $60 to $70, the literal reason it boiled down to is, well, we felt like it.
Yeah,
that was
that's
it.
Literally their excuse. We felt like it.
Yeah, and I want to be honest. At least they were honest about it.
Well, I mean, the thing is that that's. I mean, you got some balls on you in the middle of a pandemic if you're going to go, yeah, you know what? Instead of $70, we'll see how much money we make.
No, it's $70. But do you want really good players in your basketball team, or do you want the third string players that you have to watch ESPN to know who the hell they are?
Oh, no.
But now you need the booster packs.
Yeah, no. I don't think they're going to get away with that kind of level of shenanigans.
Of course they will. They're EA.
Okay.
Now that they've done this, depending on how the game sells, the floodgates will be opened if it's optimal for them.
All right.
But
that's also going with like we talked about last week. The House of Lords said this is gambling.
Yeah,
you cannot have gambling in games designed for kids.
That's true. The thing is, though, I think this is the kind of company because, of course, we saw what happened with Star Wars. It really depends on the type of there's different types of people who buy different types of games, so they're going to see what their fan base is willing to take for their 2K series, and because clearly the Star Wars fan base had enough. They were just done. And, and they said, you know what? We're not dealing with this. We're just not going to buy your game. We've got that kind of self-control.
We still have all the old Star Wars games we're willing to go back to.
Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that the 2K fan base bands together in solidarity and says, no, we won't buy your $70 game for no reason. So I will. That's going to be real interesting.
Okay. Well, the other thing I find interesting is that these two major studios, Sony and Microsoft, are trying to buy up all the other studios. They said, I think yesterday or today, that Sony bought 1% of Epic Games or Epic, just because they want to have a hand in the Unreal Engine. And now it's rumored that Microsoft wants to buy WB Games. Yeah. So I had to go look it up, and they have a lot of. They have Telltale Games, Rocksteady, NetherRealm, which means Xbox would own Mortal Kombat. And studios that haven't done anything. So I could see why WB wants to sell it, but I think it'd be kind of fun to see what comes of it.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if Microsoft did make this kind of power grab, because it's not unheard of for this kind of thing to happen. In fact, Sony had a pretty big hand in funding Street Fighter V and making it an exclusive. Of course, they went straight to Capcom, and it was just the one deal. It's not like Sony bought Capcom in order to make that happen. Yeah. But will Microsoft and because I can only imagine they got the Bill Gates money, will they be willing to buy this entire company just to make Mortal Kombat a Microsoft exclusive?
And the answer to that is yes.
Yes, it's very possible.
No, I'll explain to you why it's possible and why it will happen. And the reason it will happen is this. Warner Brothers just got bought by AT&T, and AT&T is looking at more of a thing. Warner Brothers games, other than really 3 titles, don't have good games. They're like the Sony of animated movies.
Yes, they really don't have any studio that produce anything outside of Mortal Kombat.
So if he wants to recoup, as Brad was talking about last night, and which I was talking about last night on our other show, Warner Brothers, AT&T just spent a fuck ton of money to buy Warner Brothers up. They need to recoup that loss because of Coronaville happening right now, and them can't doing the movie stuff that they want to do that would earn them their money back. Selling to Microsoft their video game division wouldn't be a bad thing. Not for anybody particularly, but for Warner Brothers / AT&T, it would make sense to them. That's unfortunately where I think the reason, yes, they will sell it, because AT&T has no interest in making video games. Because why would they make video games when they can sell the streaming, the ability to stream those games through their system?
Yeah, good point. I also, I just think Microsoft would love to have Mortal Kombat and throw together a Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat war. Plus, that would make Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct a thing. That would be pretty interesting.
That would be very interesting.
That would be that would be one of my childhood things kind of come to pass, and I think it would be much better than Mortal Kombat versus DC. Just saying.
I think they won't
make Mortal Kombat an exclusive, because if you look how like Microsoft,
I hope they don't. To be honest, I mean, I'm going to get an Xbox first and foremost, I'm sure, but I hope they don't. The more people that play Mortal Kombat, the better. And if you cut that in half by making it unplayable for the PS5, that'd be pretty rough.
Well, I don't think they would do that. I think Xbox would be very open to let it be on everything.
I think they would too.
That's kind of the way they're going right now. They're like,
it's been kind of what they've been screaming out into the ether anyway. You know, make everything compatible. Come on, hey, you guys want to be backwards compatible? Sony, do you want to make this game backwards compatible? You know, please. And
I think, I mean, look at how they're promoting crossplay with them and themselves and Nintendo.
Yeah, and exactly.
And I don't think I think it's going to be. I think Microsoft has got the right idea. They have Microsoft and they have PCs. So you just go, okay, we've got this here. Anyone wants to play our games on their system has to fork over some cash. And then they go, oh, okay, sure. I want Mortal Kombat on the Switch.
Yeah. Well,
I'm on the go. I don't have time to be sitting around just waiting for fatalities. I'm a person on the go.
Hey, if you lose, you're gonna sit there and take it, man. I'm just saying.
My frame rate's my frame rate's gonna drop at certain points. But hey, if they can put Witcher 3 on the Switch and it run good, Mortal Kombat can do it.
Oh, they've already done it.
I know.
MK11's on the Switch. It's been on the Switch, I think, since launch.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, actually, I don't know if there's any unfortunate. I've heard the online isn't so good, but I think that's just a Switch thing in general. So we don't have to go into all that.
I mean, the Switch online just kind of sucks, period. But talking about the Switch, that brings up to our next. I want to talk about Animal Crossing.
Yes. I knew that would be a good segue.
First off, I was going to save it for today, but Pocky really wanted to talk about it yesterday. The butt plug that goes with.
Now, you're going to have to explain this to me.
I'm going to let Pocky explain this one.
Yay, and I'm going to get interrupted this time. So there is an open source programmed sexual toy line.
Okay.
They are you can program them through apps, you can program them through web commands. They're particularly popular on certain adult streaming websites. And you can actually control how intensified and everything else. And being that we're the internet and we can't do anything without just effing it up, someone has figured out how to get the signal from the Joy-Cons that make the rumble fart, like so your Switch broadcasts the controller to rumble. Someone can figure out how to tap into that signal and put it into a butt plug.
Huh. So when you're digging up fossils and stuff,
every time you make the controller vibrate, it makes the thing vibrate, making you vibrate. And so, and Gavin asked last night why Animal Crossing, and I said the answer was because there's nothing that causes a rumble in that game other than you striking that tool, which sounds really bad considering what we're talking about. But the shovel and the axe is the only thing that causes a rumble. So why not use Call of Duty, like Gavin said? Because there's so much background rumble, so much background feed that you couldn't tell if you're actually doing the programming and the feedback correctly.
Oh, I'm sure you'd be able to tell.
but the thing is, you have a controlled, like anyone who does programming or any level of this, you need a controlled environment. And Animal Crossing proved to be that controlled environment. Now, I would also like to point out this is not the first time we've had this. On the PlayStation 2, there was a wireless device for such things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, considering the shape of the PlayStation 2 controller anyways.
Are you talking about that hentai dildo glow wand?
I'm talking about...
That was PS3, sir.
I'm talking about our... In the top right-hand corner of this podcast, there is a PlayStation controller, and you pretty much have to grip the butt plugs. So it's not a far stretch.
Only about 3 inches.
So outside of the butt plug, there's been a lot of shenanigans going on inside of Animal Crossing because they introduced swimming. And when you visit people's islands, because the turnip market is insane, It is insane. I'm on 3 different turnip market Facebook groups. So come Monday, I can sell my turnips for 600 bills a piece.
That's so bizarre.
I'm guilty of this just as much as anybody else. But it used to be people would fence off their island except to go to the shop. That was it. That's all you could do. Well, some jackasses have been diving off the pier to get around the fences now and ransacking people's islands.
Oh,
Yeah,
So now people's islands look like Normandy.
yeah, it has gotten to the point where they're hoping Nintendo will patch it so you can't dive off of there. I mean, that's an unintended side effect. I understand that. But if you're going to be a jackass and jump off the pier like that, you're a whole level of stupid. And the thing is mostly the community's not like that. There's of course bad apples in every community because every experience I've had with Animal Crossing going to someone's island has been just awesome. But I haven't jumped off the pier to go ransack people's islands and steal shit from them.
sounds like fun.
It's just that jackassery. That's the only way I can call it, jackassery.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you there. It's just the trolls.
The trolls. They're going to be wherever you go.
They're going to be everywhere. Yeah.
And so people are like, well, I guess we're going to have to fence off all of our beaches and shit.
Yeah, there are pictures of people's beaches with the barbed wire and all the other stuff, and people are like, why does my beach look like Normandy now? Why do I look like I should be like I'm waiting for the Allied troops to come invade me and I'm a Nazi?
No, it's just a video game. First of all, everything can be replaced. I think the worst culprit was some dude lost 1 million bells and damages and stuff stolen on his island.
Ouch.
I was like, if you put that much stuff on your island, because you can't exactly interact with a lot of things, because he was storing very valuable things outside because you couldn't put them anyplace else.
Mhm.
Someone went and stole them all. Like, go ahead. You're kind of asking for it.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're having a lovely time with your
Because
game.
James Willis, that Pocky guy is real cutie.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of investment in your time being stripped
Yeah.
away there.
No, you're not asking for it. You're like having a good time with your game while you're stuck in Corona, like locked up. And this person probably is like has a day job but can't go to it because it's an office job, and one person got sick because they refused to wear a mask.
Oh, we're making a lot of assumptions here, but yes, I hear the scenario.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying, like, if someone's stuck at home and this is all they have to do, and they're like, "Hey, at least I did this," and some asshole comes, wipes out $1 million bells worth of your material.
It's just stuff that you've left sitting around your island.
But it's
That's
island.
the only way anybody can take something is if it's like a deal with do-it-yourself recipe or an item you've dropped. Store it someplace better.
But but if you're like, hey, I circled off, this is yours, enjoy. And like you said, the community should respect that. And it's like,
you're gonna have trolls no matter where you go, and it's just sad.
Yes,
it's sad that the people who look to do that
are asking for it.
But I have no doubt it's a bunch of squeakers. Grown adults don't act that way. Because
Yes,
it's
they do.
Nintendo.
Yes, they do.
Oh, yes, they do.
I don't know any grown-ass adults that act that way.
Well,
I would say you just don't look hard enough, sir. I mean, we have grown adults accuse people of the weirdest shit in the world when they make the news for it. Those people also play video games.
We're not talking about Karens, okay?
Yes, but I'm not talking about Karens. I'm talking about like people who got mad at a fictional video game character for killing a character they love, so they go off and harass them.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a whole special episode about fandom culture, like we did with Pride today, and where do we go from here? Because we were talking about fandom culture last night, how toxic it gets real quick. The ownership of things, because we were talking about Star Wars and the voice actors and stuff like that. But before we run out of time, Pocky had a story about Monster Rancher 2 that Harley was so mad because he put it in the fan service chat instead of, well, we don't really have a Super Game Bros chat. I guess I should make one.
That's why I had to put it there.
Yeah, so he put it there. Harley was so excited. I was like, no, that's a video game story. So you get to talk about the butt plug. Monster Rancher. I don't care. What is this?
So Monster Rancher was one of the rivals to Pokemon. Pokemon came out and it got really popular. And there were two direct rivals to it. I mean, in my opinion, there were two direct. There were definitely more. and that is Monster Rancher and Digimon. Digimon did one of the best animated series. I mean, it's actually really good. It has levels of plot detail that should not be a kid's show, but it is anyway. And Monster Rancher was just, in my opinion, a better game. But because it was a Sony exclusive and not a Nintendo on everything in the world, for Nintendo, it didn't do as popular. But it was Sony's big monster collecting game. For those who don't know, basically every disc you own, this is the big thing about it. Every disc you own was a monster, and you could put your game or music or
I
DVD.
do remember that.
Yeah, or music. That was the cool thing.
And so there was a lot of monsters in it. You could also, your monsters had an age limit. They would go old and die, but you could freeze them, hit their stats, and then combine them with another monster and have a better version of a monster using older versions of monsters you've leveled up and everything. And there was training, and there was a whole 9 yards. There's also a mobile version of the same game, and they added a whole bunch of other stuff. Well, out of nowhere, this game is getting a Switch port.
That's interesting. I like that.
I'm like, yes, give me the Switch version of this game.
Yeah. Very cool. I guess it'll be interesting to see if they will allow you to throw in micro SD cards of music, and depending on what albums you have on there, see if you can create some monsters. That'd be cool. I don't know if that's that'd be the coolest thing I could think of, really, because that was my favorite part of Monster Rancher. Was that you could pick whatever game or audio CD that you have, throw it in there, and go, let's see if this works. Oh, it does.
And it produced something that only existed in that CD. Like if you put an REM, what was it? Was it REM or somebody? You put it in. No, it was Weezer. If you put in Weezer's first album, it produced one of the dog races, but it had the beanie on.
Yeah, it was actually relevant to whatever you put in there. It was very cool.
Also, if you put Metal Gear, because it was Metal Gear Solid into it, you get a Suezo, but it looked like Ninja.
Mm.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how they can adapt that for today's age, because everything's digital. So maybe there's is there a camera on the Switch at all? No, there's not a camera. I was like, you could scan barcodes and stuff to maybe mimic that, but I doubt it. It would, you know what? They would make it through the Switch app on the phone. That's what they would probably do.
That'd be cool. That's a cool idea. Speaking of throwbacks, I was very surprised when I started seeing advertisements for the pod racing game. Yes. The old school Nintendo 64 pod racing game. I've been wanting that to go to the Switch forever. There's been a few Nintendo 64 games that I'm like, really, guys, you just gotta put it on the Switch, just like you did the SNES emulator. Just make an N64 emulator, throw a few things on there. The Pod Racer is definitely up there. I actually still have that game in my with my Nintendo 64. I have it with me, and I absolutely love it. So
let's smooth that on the Switch. They've already put out pictures of it.
It's the Switch and PS4 apparently. I don't know about the Xbox, but the PS4 and the Switch were the only two I saw. I noticed that it was being ported to, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm real excited about Pod Racer being.
I would pick it up just because I did have a lot of fun with that game. I mean, as much as people want to complain about the Star Wars movies, Pod Racing was kind of fun.
Pod Racing was super fun.
Yeah,
that game especially is incredibly good.
I'm wondering if on the Switch you'll be able to control it like this with the two joysticks.
Yeah, you can. It's got motion control attached to it.
It'd be a very cool feature that I probably won't use. I do hate my motion controls. I'm good with my buttons.
When they make sense. It was kind of hard in Zelda Breath of the Wild. It wasn't very accurate with the bow, so I didn't do that. I turned it off on Mario Kart because it annoys me.
Mario Kart was awful.
Also, for Mario Odyssey, I didn't like it on Mario Odyssey for the hat flinging.
Yo,
I felt like I had a.
The Pokeball made sense when you had Pokemon Let's Go. That was lots of fun. I wish it worked with the new Pokemon, which after last week, I got back into Destiny this week, and I'm like, I'm going to get back into Pokemon and just kill this island with my level 100 spitting lizard.
Did the difficulty up for you at all? No. Did it? No. Oh, ouch.
You know why Pokemon officially has gone back to rocking on my list? They brought back Jigglypuff. I caught a fucking Jigglypuff in a raid.
Oh, well, there you go.
I am rushing through to get it so he can follow me around, and I'm going to make him a level 100 Jigglypuff because he will never evolve, and he's going to kick your ass.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you finally got your Puff Puff.
I know. I was so mad. Remember, I was complaining for how many episodes?
You were mad. You were legitimately angry.
I was so angry.
Yep.
Now, also they brought Licky Tongue back, so
Yeah, Licky Tongue is back. Yeah, so once I calm down a little bit in Destiny, because I've done everything for the week, I might be playing some Pokemon this weekend. But I've only got so much time to finish these last minute things in Destiny before they destroy half the planet. So I don't think they're going to destroy them. I think they're going to have the darkness take them over so we can't go there anymore. Because to destroy a planet, 4 of them would be really dumb.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rough. I'm sure they'll bring him back somehow.
Yeah, there's no way they could do it because anyways, that's a long story I'm not going to get into. But yes, the cookbook will be here on the 21st, which is, let me look,
Oh, man.
a Tuesday. So it will be here by Thursday, and I'm going to show you guys this cookbook because Phil's been making no end of fun of me for this. There's
Yeah.
not food in this. He said there is food all over Destiny.
I don't
There's
blame
the
you.
Christmas cookies. There's all the food in the tower. There's the drink recipes are all based on guns, and some of them look real good. So my cousin got it. I got it. We're gonna play the weekend. We're just gonna cook, and everyone's gonna laugh at us.
Yeah.
And, but you know what? When you come over and have this food, you'll be like, "Holy crap, that's actually really good."
No, I won't. This whole COVID thing has taken away my taste and smell, believe it or
I'm
not.
not saying you're coming over with COVID, bitch.
Yeah, I might do that anyway. I'll just show up. Hey,
You ain't coming to the door. My door's locked. You don't know the code to get in.
let's try your cookbook now.
I'll just go through the peephole. Or the front window. I'll walk out the window and you can look at it through the window.
I'll give it the due that it deserves.
You're such a hateful bitch.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for our time for today. Thank you guys for joining us. We had a lot of fun with you guys. And like I said, coming up, we're going to take a little break. Probably, what month are we in? July? Maybe in August. We'll take a break in August.
sure.
Just because I've got to get some things reformatted and I got to test moving this to a different studio. And because I had this idea of how I want the show to look and run, but I got to put all the pieces together. Does that make sense? Don't forget we have live shows all week. Tuesdays, Red Web. Wednesdays, fan service. Thursdays, this show. Saturday is the premiere of Shadowcast Austin. Is that what it's called? Shadowcast ATX. And then you can watch us live stream game night with Stenik and Henzar. We will pick up Halo, and there will be lots of explosions.
Yes, there will be many explosions.
You can also watch me Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays here generally before streaming, except for Tuesday night, where I will stream after Brad's Red Web, which he actually has once an entire video of everyone trying to say the show's title.
Yeah, it was funny because Pocky joined into fan service yesterday. He's at the Red Web's house. So I was like, "You're at Brad's house?" Like, yeah.
Which is hilarious because if you know where I live, you know where Brad lives. You were wondering how.
They're like an hour and a half apart from each other.
Yes, we are.
And that's what people don't realize. What we do here at Kaiju is we're all friends. Like we're all family, and we have fun doing this stuff together. So thank you guys for watching.
Yeah,
and you have a fan on Facebook, Pocky.
I saw that.
You're like, I saw that. Do you know him?
I'd have to look. I haven't looked yet.
Have you been dying to go look?
Nope.
You should have to go look.
Hold on. I'll go look right now.
Okay, so that's been it for this week. We'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned for all our fun.
All our fur.
I touched the cord. I don't know what happened to this headphone. I think the kids ran it over. I touched it and it all went dead.
Yep. Well, that
that
was unfortunate. I think what you mean to say is we love you all.
We love you all, even though one of us does have the COVID infection.
Yeah.
All right, bye, guys. Bye.